He tried to get to me as much as possible, and then he would snuggle up, and I would literally just sit there for hours, and he would just be asleep. My first thought was he must have been kicked out of his nest. He was so skinny. He was also sort of curled up. I just reached under there and grabbed him and immediately put him under my jacket and held him close, and he grabbed onto my shirt with his little claws and wouldn't let go. After waiting a couple of hours, I noticed that he had the energy to actually eat. At first it was on the hour, every hour, and then it moved to 2 hours and 3 hours over the night, and then realized that he would just keep eating and eating and eating. But by the next morning, he was a new squirrel. Dean was special. He had a personality. His motor functions were not that great. He launched himself from my shoulder onto my face and used my face to climb up onto the top of my head. I completely fell in love. It totally pulled on my heartstrings. But at the same time, I kept thinking, well, eventually I'm going to have to bring him somewhere and say goodbye. He's like a little black squirrel, and he's in way better shape than Dean, but he's sort of following me around, but still too young to have left the nest, so he was definitely playing the whole "are you my mother" game. Right away, Sam was extremely playful, just wanted to play with Dean. He also groomed Dean like crazy. Sam was the cuddliest with Dean, just kind of all over him and following him around, and they both had such individual personalities. Sam was way better at climbing, way more sure of his feet. I think it irritated Dean a little bit because he couldn't keep up with him. They responded to each other kind of like they knew each other. They were pretty cute together. I had to let them go because I cared about them and wanted to see them survive. I kept Sam in the carrier, but I kept Dean with me on my shoulder, and he just sat with me and cuddled the whole drive. Dean made it very difficult to leave because as soon as I was out of sight, he started calling for me. They even reacted. They're like, oh my goodness, he knows, you're the mom. Or I'm like, yeah, I know. It's heartbreaking. Dean made a full recovery. They said that they continuously called them Dean and Sam. I really hope that once they were released, they lived a long squirrel life. Still, to this day, if I see a gray squirrel, and I like to think that, it's Dean. Whenever I think of him, he makes me smile. This little creature putting his faith in me that I was going to take care of him, and I was there. Every time he was hungry or he needed a cuddle, I was there and I could give it to him.
Si amas a los animales, suscríbete.